Dr. Vandana Shiva is trained as a physicist and did her PhD in hidden variables and non-locality in quantum theory from the University of Western Ontario, Canada. She later shifted to interdisciplinary research in science, technology, and environmental policy, which she did at Indian Institute of Science and Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. In 1982, she founded an independent research institute, the Research Foundation for Science, Technology and Ecology in Dehradun, which was dedicated to high quality and independent research to solve the current ecological and social issues of our times in partnership with local communities and social movements. In 1991, she founded Navdanya, a national movement to protect the diversity and integrity of living resources, especially native seeds, and to promote organic farming and fair trade. In 2004, she started Bij Vidyapeeth, an international college to promote sustainable living in Doon Valley in collaboration with Schumacher College, UK. Dr. Shiva combines sharp intellectual inquiry with courageous activism. Time magazine identified Dr. Shiva as an environmental hero in 2003, and Asia Week has called her one of the 5 most powerful communicators of Asia. Forbes magazine in November 2010 identified Dr. Vandana Shiva as one of the top 7 most powerful women on the globe. Dr. Shiva has received honorary doctorates from the University of Paris, University of Western Ontario, University of Oslo, and Connecticut College, University of Guelph. Among her many awards are the Alternative Nobel Prize, the Right Livelihood Award 1993, Order of the Golden Ark, Global 500 Award of the UN, and the Earth Day International Award. Lenin Honor Grant for Peace by Yoko Ono in 2009, Sydney Peace Prize in 2010, Doshi Bridge Builder Award, Calgary Peace Prize and the Thomas Merton Award in 2011, the Fukuoka Award and the Prism of Reason Award in 2011, the Griffon D'Argento Prize 2016, and the Midori Prize for Biodiversity in 2016, Virangana Award 2018, the Sanctuary Wildlife Award 2018, and the International Environment Summit and Award 2018.
I'm very, very happy to join the 15th Kirloskar Vasundhara International Film Festival. Happy addressing you from far away from the Dehradun Navdanya farm. And the theme that you have chosen this year of nutritious food, flourishing nature, and a healthy society is precisely what my life has become dedicated to by default. I thought I would spend my life doing physics and solving the puzzles of quantum theory. But 1984, the Punjab disasters, the Bhopal disasters, forced me to look at why were we growing our food in ways that killed people, thousands of people. Every year, 200,000 people are dying because of pesticide poisoning, according to the UN. But 80% of the insects have disappeared in the world just in the last 2 or 3 decades as the use of pesticides and poisons have spread, with the myth that chemical farming produces more food. Nothing could be further from the truth. At our farm in Dehradun, we actually do research. I work with farmers across the country. We've trained more than 1 million of them. The more biodiverse a farm, the more it produces. The smaller the farm, the more it produces. Organic farms produce more. Every calculus on yield is an inaccurate calculus. And therefore, I decided about 25 years ago, I'm going to measure nutrition per acre, which is what matters in food, and health per acre, not yield per acre, because yield only measures the weight of a commodity. And the weight and mass does not bring nourishment to our body. The nutritional density does. The chemical-free nature of food does. But worse, yield doesn't tell you what was the produce used for. And the more we have chased higher and higher yields, we've had less and less food. More and more hungry people. 1 billion people are hungry every year. Unfortunately, with the corona lockdown, many more have got added to the hunger pandemic, according to the United Nations. And why do we have a pandemic in the first place? All the research is showing that as we invade into forests and the habitat of other species, the homes of other cultures, the indigenous people, we are unleashing diseases on a very, very, very large scale. All the new pathogens of the last 30 years, of 300 or more, have emerged from the destruction of habitat. They are really symptoms of violence against Vasundhara. And in a way, one could see the pathogens as Vasundhara saying to us, stop this violence. I can give you a lot more food, a lot more nourishment without harming me. Stop harming me so you won't be harmed either. And the COVID epidemic should be such a clear example that we are not looking at systems of producing food and farming that stop the violence against the earth. As the UN has admitted and the IPBES has admitted, that in effect, we are looking at symptoms. We are not looking at true causes. And the true causes are really a very non-sustainable and a very violent relationship with the earth. As a lead author of report of UNEP has said, there has been so much response to COVID-19, but much of it has treated it as a medical challenge or an economic shock. But its origins are in the environment, food systems, and in animal health. It is a lot like having somebody sick and treating only the symptoms, not treating the underlying cause. Governments must address the destruction of the natural world to prevent future pandemics. Now, the same bad food system that is destroying the earth, creating pandemics like corona, violating the laws of the health of the planet, causing 50% of all greenhouse gas emissions that are leading to climate change, as I have written about in my book, Soil Not Oil, that same system is causing the disease epidemic across the world. If you look at the data during this COVID crisis, who was dying? Not ordinary people, the vulnerable. Of course, the very old, who sadly in the West have been put in old age homes. You know, just like everything is a cycle. Nutrition is a cycle, water is a cycle, transmission of knowledge and culture of species is a cycle where the grandparents teach the young children how to live, what values to have. And when this relationship is ruptured, we treat the old people as abandoned people. And the young children also become abandoned. And I stopped driving when I went to Canada because I said, all the cars are one person. All of them are between 20 and about 50. Where are the old people? Where are the children? We treated the old as a dispensable age. And I remember when I was coming home in March of 2020, just before the lockdown, there was a title said, we have to now decide who live and who will live not. And the old people are too much of a burden to carry. When we start treating our elderly as a burden, we will start treating other human beings as a burden. We have been treating other species as a burden. We'll start treating children as a burden. And this means a recipe for extinction. And of course, a slow extinction is anyway taking place, as the same pesticides that are driving species to extinction are creating a disease epidemic for us. We have done 2 reports, one called Food for Health, another called Annam in the Indian context of Ayurveda, showing that what Ayurveda said is so true. Annam sarva aushadhi, food is the first medicine. And Hippocrates, on whose inspiration the Western system of medicine is based, he said, let food be thy medicine. And yet we are pumping our bodies and pumping the environment with toxics. Cancer is inevitable. 10 million people are dying from cancer annually. Every sixth death in the world is due to cancer. And only 5% cancers are hereditary and genetic. 95% come from toxics in the environment. And in India, 96 people are dying every day because of cancer. Heart diseases, 94 daily. Strokes, 58 daily. Lower respiratory infections, 30 daily. Alzheimer's and other neurodegenerative diseases, 20 daily. Diabetes, killing 16 daily. If you look at the deaths due to corona, people got the infection. Not everyone died. But if you had diabetes, the risk of death shot up to 9.2%. And if you had cancer, they went up 7.6%. So the immunity of the body is affected by the food we eat. Every infection does not kill. If you do not have resilience, if you do not have immunity, if the plant does not have immunity, we are going to get infectious diseases. Now, my work over the last 5 decades as a scientist, beginning first with mechanistic classical physics and dedicating myself to understanding quantum theory with my PhD on the non-separation and non-locality in quantum theory and uncertainty and potential, I realized that that applies in every field. Every field has been reduced mechanistically based on separation. We have been separated from the earth. Plants have been separated from the soil. Our food have been separated from the plants we grow. And in the process of this separation, we have created a diseased and sick and degenerate world. But the amazing soil organisms that flourish in the organic soils of the Navdanya farm are the basis of true nutrition of the soil. And when they are producing nutrition, our plants have nutrition, our soils have 100% more carbon, 100% more nitrogen than organics, than when 20 years ago. And more than that, micronutrients like zinc and magnesium, so important to the new diseases that are being created by lack of having the right micronutrients and trace elements which are vital to our body. Mass is a very crude concept. Process and life is the most important concept. And in the process, health is a continuum from the soil to the plants, to the food we eat and our gut. Within our gut is an amazing forest, 100 trillion microbes. We are only 10% of ourselves. The rest of us makes us a complex ecological interbeing. When we are violent to the soil and the plants through chemicals, we are violent to our gut. And all diseases of today are being related to the damage to our gut microbiome. Let us celebrate the health of the planet. Let us regenerate the health of the planet through organic, regenerative agriculture. And you all have such an important role to play in this. I invite you to Navdanya. How personally and in groups and in movements you can make this transition. At the Navdanya website, you will see the courses we offer at the Earth University. These courses are offered with love and my dedication over the last 5 decades to service to the earth and protect the tiniest of life forms on this planet, service to Vasundhara. And I would also like to invite you to join this movement. You can make Pune a hub for this transition. My dream is that the next decade we dedicate to Vasundhara and agriculture with and for Vasundhara. We will have more food. As we measure health per acre, we can feed 2 times India's population. We are having huge protests in India about farmers. Organic farmers in India who work with us and care for the soil are earning 10 times more. Earth care is the true economy of living, the true economy of giving. And if together we work, we can make sure that no child is malnourished, no child dies of hunger, no farmer commits suicide, no species is driven to extinction. Let us work together for a decade of Vasundhara from the Vasundhara Festival. Thank you.